In our last session we understood about the operators, right? And in today's class we will understand about relational and also logical operator with conditional statements. Okay, so what are the conditional statements we have? Okay, conditional statements used to build complex logic. Okay, they are used to build complex logic. So what is the use of this conditional statement, or what are the conditional statements we have? We will understand. The first one is if and if. Okay, then case, end case, then we have check. Okay, so these are the conditional statements we have in ABAP. Okay, if and if. So if and if supports all the relational operator and logical operator. Okay, so this can be used to build complex logic. Okay, it supports all the relational operators as well as all the logical operators, so it can be used to build complex logic. We will see that. Okay, and here, but the case doesn't support all the relational operators, even all the logical operators. It is used to build simple logic. Okay, this is the complex logic you want to build, you can use if you want the simple one, in that case you can use case. Let's see that in the system. Let me comment this and we'll declare some variables. Okay, so let's say the simple one, if 1 is equal to 1, equal to is relational operator, right? Equal to, greater than, less than, not equal to, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to are the relational operators, right? So if 1 is equal to 1, so then maybe let's say we will just print something, right? I'll just say condition true, our relation is true, right? I'll just copy the same line, and then here if 1 is equal to 2, or let's say if 1 less than 2, or if 1 or 2 is greater than 2, or 2 is greater than 1, or 2 is greater than 3, something like this we'll write. So I'll do printer, and then let's keep breakpoint here and debug what's happening here. Okay, so let me activate, and I'll also keep the breakpoint here, then execute. So now if you see 1 is equal to 1, right guys? 1 is equal to 1, right? The relation is true. This two comparison. So what happens when the comparison between these two values is true? That means it is right. Then the whatever the lines of code that you have written inside this will be executed. Understood? If comparison between these two value is true, in that case whatever you have written here, that will be executed. Understood or not? If I execute, you see 1 is equal to 1, that means it is true, so it's going to execute the right statement. Now is 1 equal to 2? 1 is equal to 2. Hello?
Yes, sir.
No, right? So now you see it won't execute this line, right? Because the relation between these two values is not true, it's false, right? The comparison, it's comparing whether 1 is equal to 2 or not, right? So 1 is equal to 1 less than 2, is it true or false? It's true, right? So see, it will execute. So is 2 greater than 3?
False.
False, it won't execute. Understood? Understood? So it compare the relation operators basically compare the values, right? Relation between the two variables. Understood or not? Okay, let's make maybe this one we will use variable now. Let's say data num1 type I, and the value I'll just say 100. Num2 type I, value 200. This is how you also default the value at the time of declaring a variable. Okay, num3 type I, value 300, and let's keep save it. Let's do pretty printer. Okay, then here what I can do, if num1 equal to num2, I'll simply write this. Okay, same thing. You can also do one more thing. You can have default execution block also. The default, let's say else. Okay, this is else block. Okay, we can say this default block. Why default block? If none of the conditions are true, in that case the default block will be executed. Okay, if any of the conditions is failed, in that case default block will be executed. Let's see in the system. So guys, do you think the value inside num1 variable is equal to value inside num2 variable? This is true or false?
False.
Right? So what system will do? System will go and execute the default block. Now let me show you now. Num1 having value 100 and num2 is having a value 200. Num1 is not equal to num2. So what system will do? System will not execute this line, rather it go and execute the default block. That's what default block is all about. So let's say for example, you can also have multiple if statements within one if. Let's say you can use else if. If this is not true, then check this. Num2 greater than num1. Okay, so I'll just keep this line just to show you whatever it is there inside, it will get executed. Okay, so this is if else statement, if else if, right? Nested if also we can call it as. See, this is one if. Okay, if this is not true, again another if you have written. So if this is not true, then the default block will be get executed. You can have one more if you want to. If else num1 less than num2. Okay, so let's do pretty print. Activate the program and I'll keep the breakpoint here and execute. So I press F5 and now you see num1 and num2. Num1 is 100, num2 is 200, right? So now this is not true because 100 is not equal to 200. So but here num2 is greater than num1. It is right or correct or wrong? $200 is greater than 100 or not?
Yes, sir.
See, it's going to execute. If any of the condition statements are executed, then below lines will not get executed. You see, it will come out now. Understood? If any of the conditions are true, even though if this is true, system will not execute because it's already executing the code. This is how it works.
Rajnish?
Yeah, please.
Rajnish, in the first set of if statement what you have written, in the four statements what you wrote, like there were two statements which were correct.
Correct. If any of the statement is true, if below statements are also true, it won't execute the below statement. If one,
That's why it just skipped out of that
correct.
entire thing, right?
Yes, yes.
Can you just go above once?
Yeah. Shift plus F12 to go back in the debugger and execute again. Shift plus F12 from the keyboard. Otherwise, there is also option here. Anyways, I'll show you when we discuss in the debugger. Go to statement. Okay. Yeah. So now you see, first one is not true, so it's not executing. The second one is true. It's going inside. After that, it won't go here because it is just, it came out this statement and it will jump onto the breakpoint statement. It won't execute any of this. Just observe. See? Understood?
Can you just uncomment the first set of codes?
Which code you want me to uncomment?
The first set of four statements, if statements what we wrote.
This 4.
The top one.
This one.
1, 2 and 3.
This one.
Yeah.
But
Can you just
this is
re-execute
not,
this one?
this is not one if condition, right? So this if condition is starting here and ending here, but this is starting here, ending here, starting here, ending here, starting here, ending here. These are multiple if conditions, but this is only one condition.
Okay.
Understood? So
That is why here we have got 2 times.
correct.
Relation is true.
Yes.
Okay.
Only one is coming, but somewhere other one is printed, I guess. Only one should print. That two times it came because I went back and I executed it again, right? So that should be the reason.
Okay.
So only one will be printed to the output. Let me show you again. This is if else. See, only one will be printed. So any doubts till now? Are we clear?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's make it little complex by using logical operator. So if num1 equal to num2 or num1 less than num2. So what is AND or not? What is AND operator will do here, right? So AND means both conditions must be true, or means either one condition must be true, not means to mention condition is false. To tell the system the condition is false, then you execute, otherwise don't execute. Okay, so this is what and or not. Okay, so let's see, let's understand. And maybe here just write and num3 less than num2, and here maybe I'll just also have another and let me have not num1 greater than num3. Okay, so this one I will make and this one I'll just make that should be fine. So let's have one more. Here I'll just add. Okay, now let's understand logical operators. Maybe here I can write something like first block and maybe one more. Observe carefully, guys. This is how you can build complex logic using the relational and also the logical operator. Now you see num1 and you have num2 and also num3. So here what you are saying, if num1 is equal to num2, otherwise if num1 is less than num2, then execute this line. Either one should be true, either this should be true or this one should be true. If this is true, system will not check for the second one. If this is not true, then system will check for the second one. That's what I'm saying. So now you see what happens. I execute, you see it's going to execute this, right? First block, then it will come out because one is executed. Now in the next one, what I'm saying, I'm telling that both should be true, right? But here this is not true, but this one is true. But here I'm saying and, that means both should be true. This will be failed, right? So you see it won't go inside. But here you see num2 is greater than num1, that is true. Num3 is less than num2, but this is false again, right? Right, all of you?
Yes, yes.
So you see this won't execute. Again what I'm saying here, num1 is less than num2, that is true, correct? And I'm saying that num1 greater than num3 is not true. If since I put not here, that means num1 greater than num3 is not true, that means that is false. In that case, it will execute the third block. Understood? What is not? Whatever I have written here, the relation is not true. To mention that, you can use not. Next. So you see here again there is a not. num2 greater than num1 and not num3 less than num2. That means this is again false. You see, second block. Right? I think I have to do some changes here to make it to the default block. Okay. This is how you can build a complex logic using if. So let's say in the last I'll just remove if nothing is true, then it's go and execute the default block. You see, first one is failed, second one failed again. Sorry, to go here. First one failed, second one is also failed, third one is also failed. If all of them are failed, then it's going to execute the default block. Anybody, any doubts in if condition? Very important. You will not see any program without conditional statements. Each and every program that you see or you write, you have to use the conditional statements. If this business is logic is equal to something, execute some lines. If business data is something is equal to some other data, then execute something else, like that. You always have to use the conditional statements. Any program you take, any programming language you take, the same concept, no difference. Again, you have to use. There will be no program without this. Are we clear on this? Hello? Understood?
Yeah.
The if. Okay. So now let's understand the simple one. This is used when you want to build a complex logic. There is another one will be used when you want to build a simple logic. Okay, so that is case. So let's say this support all the relational and the logical operators. Okay, this supports, sorry, I have written already. Why I'm writing it again? So let's say by default it support only equal to operator and only or logical operator. Okay, by default it supports only equal to operator and only or logical operator. Okay, so this is used to build complex logic. This one is used to build simple logic. Okay, so this is used to build simple logic, not the complex one. Okay, very simple, because only equal to and or. So you cannot even change this, it's default. Okay, you cannot even mention, system considers or takes care of operator. Okay, you can use only or, you can mention, but not equal to or any of this operator you cannot mention. Okay, by default it supports the equal to operator. Okay, so let's say case, I'll say 300. Here I'll write num1, okay, num2 or num3. Okay, so you see when others is like default block. Okay, so let's say first block here and second block here, and maybe the default block. When others is like else block in the if condition. Let's do pretty printer and activate. And then let's keep breakpoint here and see. So now you see guys, num1 is 100, num2, num3, right? 100, 200, 300. So what system will do? 300, right? You see, directly it will go here because 300 is matching. It won't even execute this statement. It will directly jump onto this statement. That's how it works. Okay, but in if condition it will check each and every condition that you have written, but case knows where it is because it's default equal to operator. You see, the moment I press F5, it's coming directly here. It's not coming, it's not stopping here and then coming here, right? It's directly coming here. That means system knows where the value is matching. See, second block. Understood? This is case. Are we clear? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now the last one is check. And one more thing is that it is slow compared to case. It is faster. Because only equal to comparison. Okay, so the last one is check. Okay, check actually acts different, guys. Okay, so there are so many things. It is not a block of code. Okay, it is like direct. Okay, it's not a block of code, right? It's direct one. So let's say check, right? So like if it is also, it also support both relational and logical operator. Okay, logical operator can be used to check complex logic. Okay, so this will not have any block. It won't have any block like if condition or case. Okay, only one time you can check if. Okay, so it behaves differently based on where it is used. It matters where it's used. Either you are using it inside a block, or you're using it inside a subroutine, or if you're using it inside a loop statement. Okay, it behaves differently. What those changes? Okay, let's understand. When check used inside or let's say directly in main program and condition is not satisfied, then it will not execute the below lines of code. Okay, it will not execute the below lines of code. Okay, it will not execute the below lines of code. When check used directly in when check used directly in or when check used inside inside a loop, okay, and condition is not true, then it will skip the current loop pass and go to next loop. Okay, it will skip the current loop pass and go to next loop. Okay, when it's used inside a procedure block, then procedure block and condition is not true, it will come out of procedure block. Okay, it will come out of procedure block. This behaves differently actually. Okay, so I can show you in the main program right now, but when we discuss on other statements we'll understand. So check, you can also write a complex logic like this, okay, but there will be no multiple blocks. That's how it is. If check num1 equal to num2 and num1 less than num2, if this is failed, below lines will not be executed. Okay, let's say I'll just make it or either 1 should be true. Okay, and let's see whether the breakpoint, this is false, this is true. Okay, if this is true, then below lines will get executed. If this is false, then the breakpoint statement will not be executed. That means whatever you have written below, it won't be executed. Okay, the connection is lost. Let me just go back and log in again. So let me comment this again. Now here you can use all relational logical operators. Let me show you here. I'll just write check 1 is true. Let's see whether it will print or not. Again I'll write check 2 is true. Okay, pretty printer. There is no block. Okay, you cannot write check and check, nothing like that, only check. So keep here and then execute. So now you see num1 is equal to num2, either this should be true or this should be true, but num1 less than num2, that is true, so it will execute the below line. But in this case both should be true because we are using AND. So since this fails, below lines will not be executed. You see, it will come outside the program. See, understood? It came outside the program. Clear? Hello guys, understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So next interview question. what is difference between if, ENDIF and case? And they may also ask check sometimes. Okay, that's one thing. And then let's come down. Let's understand about binary search versus search. Okay, I cannot tell you, I can only explain the concept. I cannot show you this in the system because we cannot see. Okay, just understand the concept, that's important. So what is linear search, and also what is binary search? Okay, so what is linear search now? Okay, let's understand. Linear search access the records of an internal table sequentially. Okay, linear table access the records of an internal table sequentially. That means, let's understand, let's say you have an internal table. I'll just take what is internal table in tomorrow's class. I'll tell you, I'll show you, but today let's understand the concept because it is important for tomorrow's session. Otherwise, let's say this is an internal table I tab. Okay, so you have rows like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12. Okay, let's say you have this many rows. Okay, so when you write and read table statement, what is read table? Basically it is used to read the records from internal table to work area. That also we will see in upcoming classes. That is something like this, READ. Okay, read table I tab, okay, into work area. So with key and field name is equal to, maybe which row we will read. Okay, maybe say it is equal to 7. Okay, so when you write this statement, what system is going to do, right? When you write this statement, what system is going to do? Let's understand. Okay, when it is a linear search, system will start scanning records one by one like this. First it will scan 7 is equal to this or not. If not, again the next row. If not, again the next row, unless it founds the matching row. It will keep scanning. Okay, it will keep scanning like this. Okay, once it found the matching row, then what system will do? System will bring that row and it will keep that row in the work area. This is how linear search works. This is what the meaning of sequential search or linear search. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
sequential search. That means what? Sequential search means okay, so linear search starts scanning records from beginning of the internal table and compare with each value until it find the matching value. This is what linear search.
Sir, here we have taken only one field name. Can we add like two more
Yeah, you can
fields
always do.
in?
Okay, you can do. If okay, so what happens if it founds the matching value, and what happens if it doesn't found the matching value? Okay, if the matching value is found, then it will return the copy of matching value to work area. Okay, if the matching value not found, then it will update sy_sub_c value greater than 0. Okay, what is sy_sub_c? That also we will see in upcoming sessions. Okay, don't have to worry now. There is a dependency for this topic. And now let's go back and understand what is binary search. This is linear search. Okay, then the next one is binary search. So what happens in binary search, guys? When you tell the system that do binary search, how do you inform? So you have to add an addition to it here, binary search. Okay, when you tell the system to do binary search, what it is going to do, right? So system will not scan record from top to bottom, rather it divides it into two of. That means there are totally 12 rows, right? It will divide it into two of. That means it will divide here. Okay, it will divide here. Fine. So now what it is going to do, it will try to match, it will check whether 6 is matching or not. Okay, but here 6 is less than 7, right? That means system will ignore the first of. So again the second of that you have, okay, it will divide the second of into 2, let's say here, right? So again it will scan the last value of first value, but in this case 7 is less than 9, so system will ignore the second of. Again it will divide this into 2 offs, maybe something like this or something like this. Okay, let's consider here. So again 8 is greater than 7, so again system will divide the first off into 2 offs. Okay, so now you see 7 is equal to 7, so it will bring that row to the work area. This is how binary search works. Understood? Understood, guys?
Yeah.
See, it found a value in only 4 scans, but here it has to scan 7 times. If you are searching for the millionth record, in that case it has to scan million record from top to bottom, but this is not like that, right? It will divide it into 2 offs and it will keep doing same until it finds the matching value, right? So that's how binary search works. Okay, so binary search will divide the records of an internal table into 2 off or repeatedly and scan for the last value of first off unless it find the matching row. If the value found, same story again, turns device 0. Okay, one more important thing for binary search, very important. Okay, very important. Okay, for binary search, sorting internal table in ascending order is mandatory. Okay, for binary search, sorting internal table in ascending order is mandatory. This is very important. Okay, remember, without sorting the data in ascending order, system will not return the record that you are trying to find. Okay, remember, sorting is very important. So now interview question again, very famous interview question, guys. They will definitely ask you in interview what is difference between binary search and linear search. You have to explain this. Okay, okay, so anybody, any doubts so far? Are we clear till now? Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Please go back and practice the if condition, guys. I cannot give you assignment on the basic programming. There, to give assignment there is dependency. Please go back and practice. So that's all for today then. Thank you so much for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah.